Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. Today's video is a very special one because I had the opportunity of a lifetime to visit a home audio system which is out of this world. Okay, so this is actually a room that was custom designed, custom set up, and the system equipment is top of the range. There's actually a very high-end home audio system in the same room together with a high-end home theater system, and the whole room is set up very well, custom design, and the outcome of it was that the system had so much power, effortless control. Soundstage was absolutely huge. You know, the term always says that you want to have a reproduction of live music in your room. Man, this was absolutely it. Okay, so before I go further, let me show you and share with you the story of the build of the room. So the room is actually located in a condominium in Malaysia. Okay, so if you see the room, you will not realize or you not feel that it is actually a condominium because the high ceiling. So the owner has actually increased the height of the ceiling in the room, and his goal was very clear. To get the best sound ever, you need to come from the room itself. Okay, so that is the best approach. So they came out with the design dimensions of the room that is based on the golden ratio. So with the 12 feet high ceiling, so they had a width of 19 feet and the length of the room was 32 feet. Perfect. Okay. So those who want to know more about golden ratio, so basically these are the dimensions. If you use these dimensions in your room, you have very little acoustic problems such as bass, notes, and then certain suckouts at certain frequencies. So the bass setup for the room has already been well managed. Okay. Secondly, the room is actually made up of 2 layers of acoustic insulation. Okay, this is to prevent the sound from the room to be spilled out outside of the room, as well as to prevent outside noise to come inside to the room. So if inside the room it is very quiet, but you don't feel that it's like anechoic, very dead. You can have a normal conversation, but inside the sound quality is very good. So it's not only absorption, but it comes with a mix of diffusion, mixed hybrid panels, and it's actually tuned very well by the guys from Audio Perfectionist. So Audio Perfectionist is actually the distributor for McIntosh equipment in Malaysia, and I've actually visited their store. So I put a link to their video in the description, so you can take a look at what they have in store. So the guys from Audio Perfectionist supply the equipment, which is mainly McIntosh, and as well as help to set up, design, and tune for this place. All right. So next thing is I want to go through what is the equipment that's in this home theater. So first is the home theater setup, then I'll go through for the 2-channel setup. So for home theater, first they have the McIntosh MX160 AV processor. Then for the Blu Ray, they have Oppo 205 Blu Ray. This is a discontinued unit, but it continues to be the best Blu Ray player out there. Okay. For the amplification, there is the McIntosh MC 1.2 kW monoblock amplifier for the left and right speakers. There is a McIntosh MC601 power amplifier. There's McIntosh home theater amplifier, the MC205, as well as the MC8207, which is the 7-channel amplifier. So there's multiple amplifiers set up for home theater. Okay, the main speakers are Focal. So for the fronts, they are using the Focal Stella Utopia. I think this is the second highest from the Focal range. And then for the center speaker is the Focal Viva Utopia. And then they have assortment of in-wall speakers for the surround and the top. Okay, and there's also a pair of Focal Electra SW 1000 BE subwoofers. Okay, this is to provide the extra bass. I've not actually tested the home theater system because I actually spend more time listening on the 2-channel system. So the 2-channel system is, man, first thing we have the McIntosh XRT2K. So this is a very, very special speaker from McIntosh. There are only 10 pairs in the world. This speaker has 110 drivers. Let me say it again, 110 drivers. So there are 40 tweeters. there are 64 mid-range drivers and 6 woofers for each side. Okay, and this speaker is designed to take up to 2000 watts of continuous power. It goes from 16 hertz all the way to 45 kilohertz. Okay, so there are very limited numbers of pairs of these speakers, and this owner has this. All right, so later I'll show you. And these speakers are powered by the most powerful amplifier produced by McIntosh, which is the MC2KW. So MC2KW is a 3-box amplifier for each side. Okay, so it goes 2, 4, 8 ohms. It has 2000 watts of power continuous, or on peak output it can go up to 8000 watts per channel. Think about that, right? And then next they have in terms of they also have the whole assortment of McIntosh power controller, which is the MPS 1500 turntable from McIntosh, to the MT5 turntable. Also the preamplifier is the McIntosh C1000 preamplifier. So this is a very special preamplifier because within the preamplifier you have the option of using solid state and tube within the same preamplifier. Okay, this is not commonly in the current generation of McIntosh systems. Okay, then for the DAC, the client has used the DCS Vivaldi DAC transport, and the clock is 3-box system. So this is not the most highest range in DCS, but one of the top range in DCS. So DCS makes fantastic DACs. Okay. And they also have the McIntosh room correction system, which is the MEN220. And then for cables, I see assortment of cables, but mostly for power cables they're using Furutech, Ansuz cables, and also Zensati cables for the interconnects and the speaker cables. And for the racks, this actually using HRS Racks, which is specialized high-end racks from the US, I think, and these are the SXR Racks. So okay, and the whole system is actually integrated system control. We can control everything from the app. You can turn everything on and off. Even the lights and the system of the house is linked with a smartphone system. Okay. So in this video, I will provide some clips as well. I can't play long clips because YouTube will come out with a copyright block. So, but with these short clips itself, you can have an idea how the sound quality is like. Okay. So first thing I want to say is the soundstage is super huge. Okay, when the bass comes, when the percussion comes, everything is just live. It just feels like the transient is there, effortless power. It feels like it's just the biggest difference when it comes to live performance to me is always the transient, the dynamic range, instantaneous power, and music coming through effortlessly, right? And this system is the most effortless I've ever felt. Okay, so we tested quite a number of songs here. So like the first is the Wolf Totem by The Who. If you've heard of this tune, it's like I think it's a Mongolian band, maybe heavy metal band. So that is a song. When I've heard this song many times on many systems, yeah. But this is the first time I felt like there were beasts in the room coming out to attack me. It was so wow, awesome. And then we played quite a lot of bass heavy tracks, like Infinity, Dragon Hawks. So these tunes have so much bass and percussions and drums. And the bass for this system, I would say it's a lot of, you can feel the pressure coming to you. You can feel because of the amount of air is being pushed by the woofers. You feel it. It's not just bass that you hear, but it's bass that you feel. So it's a very visceral feeling. You're like one with the music. You feel it's so amazing. Yeah. And when it comes to vocals, we tried a few songs. I'll put one or two inside. See whether you can tell from the short clip. Yeah. So we played this 24 Hours by Tom Jones. The transients of the drums were like instantaneous. So there are certain parts where the transients were coming through. So that part was like almost instantaneous. And the voice of Tom Jones was so big. It was so huge. We also played some instrument percussion, so like the Slav.gov song by Brand Lewis. It feels as if you are in the jungle and the drums are all around you, you know. But at no point did I feel that it was overpowering or too loud or harsh. No way. I mean, it was so lifelike without feeling any of this harshness. So I think that is a true testament of a very well set up system. It's not only about cost, but I think the effort that the owner, together with the designers and has set up this room, is so good. I think the key is always to the room, the sound, the speakers, how they interact with the room, right? And never did I find that it was harsh. You can listen to the music for many hours without any problem, which is what the owner does. Okay, the owner is a businessman, and this is one of his 4 systems, by the way. So he has 4 audiophile rooms. Okay. Anyway, I just featuring one, which this one is the best. Okay, and he listens to music to relax. And at the end of the day, So I think it's something we all aspire to as audiophiles. We want to, at the end of the day, listen to the music, relax, be transported to another world. And I think this one does an excellent job. And I know some of you guys will say that this is overpriced, etc. But I think if you are able to afford it, definitely, and if you have a chance to hear it, I think this is something which you will never forget. And for me, I definitely will not forget this, and this has become the benchmark for systems that I hear from now on. But if the client or the owner can afford it and he enjoys it so much, I think I personally I feel very happy. I feel happy for him that he's able to achieve what he wants. He enjoys his hobby very much, and I think I'll do my best here to share this with you guys to have an idea how this system is like. Okay, so I'll show the video tour as well as how the room was constructed and some video clips at the end.
I can feel the attack, but I'm numb to pain.